I'm so excited to welcome you and glad that you are going to spend a few minutes with me. And so excited that you're going to be a part of your consultant's rewards program, right? You get over $350 worth of coupons. So watch this quick video and then you're going to fill out a survey at the end, and we can't wait to get your opinion.
My name is Nancy Polish. I am a future executive senior sales director with Mary Kay, alongside my co-host Emily Sims. And we just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you joined us tonight for just a quick few minutes about Mary Kay. And so we just want to welcome you. We want to tell you just a little bit about our journey here with Mary Kay. And I'm actually going to start, and I'm going to tell you just a very brief history about how I started my Mary Kay business and what it's meant to me, to my life, and to my family. I started my business. I was very, very young. I had just graduated from college with a degree in early childhood education. And that summer, as anybody knows who's in education, that summer can be tricky because you're not in college anymore, but you are kind of put off that 3 months looking for a job. And so during that 3 months, while I really needed to earn a little bit of income while I looked for a teaching job, I asked my mom, who at that time had been in Mary Kay for about 7 years, Mom, do you think that I could do what you do? And of course, she was very excited and agreed that it might be a great way for me to spend the summer. Well, I really wasn't prepared for what happened that summer. I was looking at it as just a little side hustle to bridge the gap, to earn a little extra money. Had no idea that I was going to fall in love with this business opportunity. And that's exactly what happened that summer. I loved getting to create my own schedule every day. I loved the money that I was making. I loved the women that I was working with, and I really began to find my place here. Well, as fate would have it, I happened to get two different teaching jobs. And I had just returned from an amazing event that we call Seminar. It's our annual awards show training event. And when I came home from there, I'd about decided that I was not going to teach school, that I had maybe found my life's calling here and I was going to give this a whirl and I was going to try to do it full time. Well, I don't know if you know this, but there are actually two people that live inside of you, big me and little me. And big me said, you can do this. And little me's like, no, you can't. I think you need to take one of those teaching jobs. So I did. And I began teaching kindergarten. My teaching career lasted for all of 3 days. At the end of the third day, I quit. I've never quit anything in my entire life, but I just did not want to continue. And so, ladies, for the last 37 years, Mary Kay has been my backup plan. And I will tell you that it has been an amazing ride, an amazing journey. And I sincerely believe that that no created 37 years of yeses. And over the last 37 years, I have had the privilege of working this in all different communities, in all different venues of my life. I have been married. I've been single while I've been doing this. I've been a single mom. I had the pleasure of raising my child here, and I have not one regret. And so tonight, I don't know where you are. I don't know what your story is. I don't know why you're here, whether you're here for lipstick or whether you're here to hear a little bit more. But we're excited to share our journey. We're excited to share a little bit about Mary Kay with you. And at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Emily and let her tell you her story.
So I was 11 when mom started her Mary Kay business, and I wish they would have let me start then because I would have killed it. I loved it. I set her parties up. I fetched the products when people needed it. They all wore blue eyeshadow then. So I told them how beautiful they looked, like you liked it, whether you wanted it or not, you got blue eyeshadow then. Um, and I went to college, worked a corporate job because I really just poo-pooed Mary Kay. I just thought that's what mom does. That's what Nancy does. We're sisters. She's my older sister, just FYI. And I just thought that's what they do. I don't want to do that. And as buyouts and mergers happen in companies, it just becomes a little distasteful from when maybe the new of that company and the opportunity felt like. And so I had really become disenchanted with where I was. I worked really long hours. I traveled about 80% of the month. And I came home one night and I just said to my husband, I don't care if we live in a tent. I cannot do this one more day. And he was so supportive, but at the time I was making an executive income and it wasn't an option for us to go to zero. So he said, that's fine, but you're going to have to replace your income. A month later, I got pregnant, and it was just such a sign from God that I had to make a different choice in my life. And so I called Nancy and I said, listen, put a plan together. I got to replace my executive income, but I hate women. I'll fake that part. I just need something that's legal so I can stay home with my baby. So literally, you guys, I didn't really care about any of it other than the money, and I wanted to raise my own kid, right? And when I visited childcare centers, I nicknamed them the orphanages because they had cribs lined up, babies were flailing, and I just thought, that's not for me. If I have a different choice and I don't have to go back to this job, then I'll do whatever it takes to start my Mary Kay business. And so that's why I did it, is I literally look at my 24-year-old today, and I'm so grateful that she really gave me the kick in to doing it, because you can say all the time, I'll do it next year. And that's kind of what I kept thinking. I'll do it at some point, maybe, but until the pain of remaining the same gets worse than the pain of change, you hang in there. And that's kind of was my story. And so that prompted a 24-year business in Mary Kay, where I am today. So we wanted to talk to you guys tonight about 5 reasons why you would not want to consider doing Mary Kay, right? You wouldn't do it because of these issues. And so we just wanted to talk about them. The first thing we hear is that I am not a salesperson. And so immediately when I hear that, I don't know why I think of used cars, but that's kind of the first thing that comes to my head is used cars. And here's what I know. Nobody wants to be sold anything, right? I don't. Like, I tried to go in a boutique the other day and the woman wouldn't leave me alone. I'm thinking, girl, I'll buy something. Just leave me alone. Let me look. And so what I know is people want to buy. They just don't want to be sold something. And so our title in Mary Kay is not an independent salesperson. We're an independent beauty consultant. And the best gift about what we get to do here is that my job is to help her navigate her bathroom and feel more confident. And the sales happen because of that. But my job's not to strong arm Shirley to buy a cleanser if she doesn't like the cleanser. My job's to help her feel pretty and look pretty and have a system that works for her. So that's the first thing we hear is, I am not a salesperson.
We also hear this a lot, and that is, I don't have the time. I mean, I see the value in the opportunity. I love the products. I don't have time. And here's what I always think in my head about that is that we all have the same 7 days in a week. We all have the same 24 hours. We all, we sleep roughly the same amount of time, unless your dog's sick. But
If your dog's tummy's messed up.
that's right. But the point of the matter is that we prioritize the things that are important to us. And if this becomes important to you, you will make time for it. If things are of high importance to you, you carve out time when you wouldn't normally otherwise. And so one of the things I love to do is to sit down and really evaluate, what does your calendar look like? What are you giving time to that maybe if you saw enough value here, you could trade that out? And I heard this profound thing many years ago, and it's so accurate, is that every hour you give to something, you're trading that out. So that the hours that I doom scroll on TikTok or Instagram, I'm trading that for something, and that's not a positive thing. And so when you look at your life and you look how you're spending your time, every hour you're spending on something, you're trading that for something. And what are you trading it for? And could it be of something of more value? I don't know.
For sure. Okay, so the next one really haunted me is, what would people think? Um, sometimes the stigma in Mary Kay is that we're for a bunch of grandmas and blue-haired ladies. And it's also just non-traditional, right? It's not where you report in at 8 and you leave at 5. You're an entrepreneur, you have your own deal, and you're a business owner. And so it isn't traditional. And here's what I figured out. First off, those people weren't paying my bills. And more importantly, I don't know about you guys, but nobody has checked on me in the last few days to see what my goals are and how I'm doing. And our grandma Helen told us something years ago. She would come help us get ready for prom. And we'd be so worried about what we looked like. You know, you're just 14, 15, 16, you're so obnoxious. And she would say to us, I hate to tell you this, but they're going to be more worried about what they look like than what you look like. And I really learned that as I made my decision to stay home with my child. Nobody really cared. At the end of the day, it didn't affect them, but it affected my life. And I look back and I wish I would have started when I really wanted to, but I was too worried about what people thought. And when you figure out they don't think about it anyway, wow,
Yeah, you might be dinner conversation for 5 minutes.
if that.
Right. The other thing I hear is, I don't know enough people. Well, the last time I checked, there are billions of people on this earth. And so I don't know. You could rustle a few up. All kidding aside, is you don't have to know tons and tons of people. When you give great customer service, when you care about people, when you invest in them and you have a quality product, word of mouth really is an amazing, amazing tool. And honestly, for the last 61 years, that is the primary source of advertising that Mary Kay has used. It has only been in recent years that you've seen us in magazine publications or any type of advertising at all. And so if you know 10 people or 15 people, and keep in mind that every woman you know knows 5 to 10 women, and every woman they know knows 5 to 10 women. So your only job is to start with your circle of influence and treat them well and love them a lot and offer them a great product and follow up and care about it and make it more about them and less about you. And word of mouth will take care of you. And it won't matter how many people you know today. The people you're going to know in 5 years and 10 years because of this business is mind blowing.
Most of the things I have that are for me, like personal items, like fun handbags, or it's because somebody told me about them. So
Correct.
women are such big mouths, right? If they love something, they talk about it. And I
I
mean,
mean, from
especially
hairspray to deodorant.
everything, absolutely, right? You know about our moisturizing stick, Nancy, and all the features it has.
All the features.
Okay, so last but not least, one reason people might go, I can't do it, is I'm not the makeup type. And I have to tell you that Mary Kay for years said, we can teach you all day long how to paint your face, but if the canvas is bad, girl, the color isn't going to be much better. And so one of the things I know about what we do at Mary Kay is we really want to talk about skincare primarily because everybody should be washing their face, but most everybody does wash their face. And so that's kind of where we start with people, is helping them navigate their skincare. Now, what I do know as a beauty consultant is that I brand myself, right? And I don't have to be made up like Tammy Faye Baker. And if you're too young to know who that is, like literally she wore gobs of makeup. She was terrible. She looked like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. Like she was made up.
Again, an old pop culture reference.
Okay, well, nobody is going to make you do that. But here's what I've learned with a lot of women is that a lot of them don't wear color because they're not confident. And you become 30 years old, 35, 40, 45, and you get to a point too where you're like, I'm too old to, like, I can't ask someone how to do it. I just won't wear it. And so here's our philosophy. If you can paint by number, you can wear color in Mary Kay because that's how we teach people to do it. And nobody's going to make you wear gobs of makeup, but I do know that when you feel pretty on the outside, whatever that is to you, maybe it's just one liquid eyeshadow, maybe it's 5, right? I don't know. When you feel pretty on the outside, you feel more confident and pretty on the inside. And that's proven in Mary Kay.
Absolutely. So those are the 5 reasons why lots of times women are like, this probably isn't for me. But we would also like to share with you tonight who we're looking for, because Emily and I, the consultant that invited you, we all are working on some amazing dreams. And the coolest part to me about Mary Kay is that anything I ever wanted to achieve here at Mary Kay, I cannot do alone. And this marketing structure, this platform of Mary Kay is beautiful in part for this one reason, is that if I help enough other women dream and become successful, I'm successful in the process. And so who are we looking for? The first person that we're looking for women who would like to build wealth. And when I say wealth, I'm not necessarily talking about millions and millions of dollars. Maybe for you, that would just simply be creating some margins in your life. It would mean that there would be extras to do extra things in, whether that would be invest in retirement or send a kid to college or go on an amazing vacation. I don't know what your definition of wealth is, but we're looking for women who want more, who would like to build wealth into their life. And we feel like this is an amazing vehicle to do that.
We are also looking for women who are coachable. And I think maybe even better said is, would you like a game plan? Because I think we can dream about things a lot. I just had a session with a lady and she goes, I just stopped dreaming because it wasn't happening. And I go, well, let's start again and take some steps toward it. And so if you've ever had some dreams that are on that poster or in your mind and you just don't have a game plan, that's one thing, because for me, it wasn't about Mary Kay. It was just a dream that I wanted to raise my own child. I just didn't have the game plan. So being coachable and going, okay, just tell me what to do. I can do it if I'm coachable. That's an important trait. And I think when you're coachable, then it allows you to achieve some dreams maybe you never even thought were possible for you.
Absolutely. We also want women who are hungry for more. And again, I think that kind of even goes back to building wealth is you can be hungry for a bazillion different things. I have the pleasure of coaching almost 150 women week in and week out, and I watch what they want. And again, the beauty of Mary Kay is they all want different things. And I get the privilege of coaching them and training and leading and mentoring them towards those things. But the common denominator is that they all want something more in their life, something in addition. That doesn't mean they're not grateful for what they have. It doesn't mean they're selfish or overly ambitious. It just means that they want to juice every ounce of life out of this life that they can. They want more. And that makes this business so much fun because we're all sort of linking arms and running together because we all want to move in the direction of more.
So that kind of leads into a lot of people, and I think even after COVID, that this is probably greater. People want community, and I always laugh at this because I can remember telling Nancy, I hate women. I'll fake that part because in my old job, you had to compete against everybody, right? There was only one of those jobs, or if you had to move up, you had to get rid of somebody to do it. And a lot of them, it was just catty women. And so it makes me laugh because it's one of the things I probably love most about where I am now, 24 years later. Like, I was thinking the other day, and I can't remember what happened, but I literally could go almost to every state. And if my family had trouble, I know of a Mary Kay person in that state that would help me. The community that you get here is just far greater than I ever wished for. And it's like-minded people. It's they have similar values. And I learned this really early on in Mary Kay. You are like the five people you hang around. And so look at those five people. Are they balcony people or basement people? And prior to Mary Kay, my five people weren't all balcony people. And so not only having a great community, but having the like-mindedness and the values piece of it is so rich. And so a lot of people look at this because they want community.
That's so interesting because our dear friend Becky Manning lives just a few minutes from DFW in Dallas. And I was going through there one night and got iced in. And I made one phone call on the plane. Her and her husband were waiting outside the airport within 5 minutes. They took me home, served me this lovely dinner, helped me finagle figuring out when I was going to fly out. And it happened literally in about the span of less than an hour. And you were exactly right. We really do have community everywhere. And, I think also that as we look around, some of the things we treasure about this company is the fact that we are really praised to success at all levels in this business. And I heard something startling early on in my career, and that is that oftentimes the last round of applause a woman gets is when she graduates from high school or college, and that the atta girls that she gets through her life are very, very few. And I have really watched women and how starved they are for just even words of affirmation, just being told they're doing a great job. Well, you throw a few diamond rings at them and some amazing vacations and some other really awesome prizes, in addition to a community that supports them and builds them up. It is amazing to watch as literally a woman comes into this company as kind of a little tight, bud, and she just flourishes into this beautiful flower. And so much of that has little to do with what she accomplishes and everything to do with the belief that is poured into her and the praise and recognition.
And lastly, women who want to design a life with freedom and flexibility, which I think at the root for me was it. I knew how I wanted to live. I just couldn't do it at that old company. And I needed something that was way more pliable for me. And so I loved that it allowed me choices that I couldn't get somewhere else. And as women, you guys, we wear a lot of hats. And so to have the freedom and flexibility, I mean, we run the homes, right? What's my big fat Greek wedding say? Um,
You
he's
might
the
be the
head and you're the neck, right? You turn the head. And so we're the rudder. And so when you have a job that is super demanding, then it also makes everything else tough at home. And so there's just such value in the freedom and flexibility because of all the hats that women wear. So have a great night. We thank you for participating.